for being with us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland, along with Tommy Marquez and 9-time CrossFit Games athlete Stacy Tovar. And Nikki Brazier is down on the competition floor. Standings coming into this one, the top 9 men advance to Madison, Wisconsin to compete in the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games. And right now, Mitchell Stevenson is hanging on to that 9th and final spot by just 3 points over John Wood. And we saw Colton Mertens and Cole Sager put some pressure on the guys in spots 8, 9, and 10 in heat number 5. Test number 6, it's all about the legless rope climbs and the wall-facing handstand push-ups.
Yeah, obviously, you want to be prudent through these overhead squats in the 500-meter row on the way down, but then the pirouettes, seated legless rope climbs, strict chest-to-wall handstand push-ups are really when people start to separate, because then you got to turn around, go back the way you came.
Recipe for success here.
I think it's holding true so far. Execution and technique, especially on the high-skill gymnastics, can save you a lot of worry and then mitigate shoulder fatigue. We've seen people come undone on the pirouettes, the overhead squats. A lot of that over time that they burned in too hot.
Let's bring in Nikki Brazier down on the competition floor. Nikki?
Yeah, this has become a pretty perilous area for the pirouettes here, especially on the back half of this test that we've seen with the guys. Now, just as a reminder of how we got here, we started with handstand push-ups back at the games in 2011. Since then, we've added obstacles, parallettes, we've seen freestanding handstand push-ups, and then last year at the games was the first time we saw pirouettes. Never before seen at this stage of competition, but if the athletes have been paying attention, they probably knew it was coming.
Here are the 10 men who will be in this 6th and final heat. Justin Medeiros will be in lane number 2. And Tommy, he's been, I don't want to say fading, but his performances have gotten worse throughout the competition.
He's gotten worse on each subsequent test. Hasn't looked like the champion we're used to seeing on the competition floor, but you know what? Don't doubt him.
And Justin Medeiros in 7th place overall with 331 points. John Wood is down in lane number 10. This is the first man on the wrong side of that cut line. He's only 3 points back of Mitchell Stevenson. Justin Medeiros is the first man done with his first set of 10. So he is attacking right now.
And Wood coming off his worst finish last night, a 41st place finish in test number 5. So, maybe looking to rebound a little bit and get himself back into a qualifying position.
There's Justin's family cheering on Justin, who's the first man to the rower. Here comes Sam Quant. And Jack Rosem at the far end of the floor. And now everybody else getting started on his 500-meter row, as John Wood will be the last man in.
I like seeing Justin push the pace a little bit today. That's the Justin I'm used to.
You can just see the look of focus on his face. Obviously, he doesn't like being anywhere but the top, and unfamiliar territory, especially at a semifinal level here. He hasn't been inside the top 3 at any point this weekend. That's unheard of for a guy that hasn't lost in live competition for 2 seasons.
Ice Barrel is giving the CrossFit community $300 off an Ice Barrel with code CrossFit Semi, CF Semi. Visit icebarrel.com to redeem yours and strengthen your immune system, improve circulation, and boost mental clarity and focus. After these 500 meters on the rower, it's the 3 handstand pirouettes. And then things get interesting as we get to the rope climbs and the wall-facing handstand push-ups. So Brent Fikowski's moved into 3rd place behind Medeiros and Quant. Brent Fikowski has, I think, moved ahead of these 2 guys on this portion of the test. So Fikowski, your leader, comes in 2nd place overall. He went 2nd in test 4 and 2nd in test 5.
Impressive. I mean, despite all that, the margins are still close. I mean, you see Justin, we talk about how unfamiliar it is for him to be in 7th, but a couple of good events here, he can work his way back up into the top 5. Especially with the volatility we've seen on the final day from the first week.
All judges' hands in the air, and it's going to be Sam Quant and Justin Medeiros, the first 2 men out. Now here come Cole Griesaber and Brent Fikowski, along with Nick Matthew. And every athlete immediately onto the pirouettes.
the difference between this first set and that last set is just tremendous.
Night and day, and I know most of these guys are probably in attack mode and they want to hit this unbroken, but whether or not that's a good decision will be decided on the back end.
Well, Grease Saber and Medeiros were done first. Medeiros is already on his first legless rope climb, and that was no problem for him. Velner and Fikowski onto the rope climbs, as is Sam Kwan in lane 3 and Chandler Smith. This is rep number 2 for Medeiros. And that's, I think, some of the fastest 2 rope climbs we have seen in any semifinal yet. He is on to the wall-facing handstand push-ups along with Pat Velner, who's moved into second. Now Fikowski is done, and he'll head to the handstand push-up wall. And here comes Sam Quant. 10 minutes, 10.17 seconds, the time to beat from Colton Mertens in heat number 5.
Nick Matthew also in lane 8, just kind of touched the floor, gave a quick little shake, and was right back up the rope. Now joining them on the wall as well.
And this was another event that Nick Matthew, when we talked to him beforehand, said, I'm really excited to showcase some skills here. Obviously, he won the skill speed medley at the games. That was kind of his introduction to the community, so definitely has some high-level gymnastics capabilities.
So Justin Medeiros now has 5 reps remaining.
Strategic break is smart there.
And as far as the race for the top spot on the overall leaderboard is concerned, this could be a very big moment for both Velner and Fikowski, as now Medeiros is done and he will go back to the rope. And Velner is finished, and he scoots right over to get started on his legless rope climbs.
Velner was the second to last off the rope, so I think he strategized that in a way. He's going to pace this sucker out and fly through the back end.
Well, Velner's so good with the gymnastics movements. He knows that, you know, his background as a gymnast will give him a little bit of an advantage, especially under fatigue on the way back with those pirouettes.
This is the last rope climb for Justin Medeiros and the last rope climb for Pat Velner.
And that's smart. Look at how the rope was on the outside of Justin Medeiros' leg. That was the original standard at the games. It's not the standard here, but just to avoid the possibility of the leg clamp, puts the rope on the outside just to make sure he's going to get that rep.
Onto the handstand pirouette, Justin Medeiros looking for his first test win of this competition. Has 1 remaining. Velner is on his first. And now onto the 500-meter row, and Justin Medeiros is just demolishing this test right now.
He looks like a man possessed. Regardless of how the weekend has gone so far, this, you know, there are opportunities to remind people, hey, I'm still the champion.
Here comes Velner. He'll take a break before his 3rd and final pirouette. Now Fikowski is done in the background, and he'll get to work on his handstand pirouettes. Sam Quant done as well. Velner got really close to that line, and now failing. Nick Matthews starting to creep up as well. He's on the top of the screen there. And here comes Sam Quant. So Velner with another missed rep as Justin Medeiros continues to run away with this thing.
And no need to rush here for Pat. He can take an extra break a little bit longer. We've seen in the past whether it was Wadapalooza with the overhead squats in the first event.
And now his hand there, he hit the line, he got the no rep.
Yeah, this is dangerous territory because we've seen in competition shoulder fatigue over time catch up with them, whether it was the sprint shoulder to overhead event at the games last year or the overhead squats at Wadapalooza.
Sam Quant is now onto the rower in second place as Velner continues to fail here. Fikowski has passed him as well. And Nick Matthew is about to do the same.
Guys, and Velner is a gymnast. This puts this test in perspective. Right here is where it's won.
And now Velner's through. He'll be the 4th man to the rower along with Nick Matthew there on the far right side of your screen as Medeiros is in the final 100 meters. Time to beat 10 minutes, 10.17 seconds, but maybe not for long.
And honestly, based on how the last rep for Velner looked, it didn't look like as much of a capacity thing as more of maybe he's rushing the pace a little bit.
Justin Medeiros onto the barbell.
We may potentially see a world record here set, guys.
Medeiros did this in 9:06 earlier in the day. As we take a look at the standings, Justin trying to give himself some more breathing room as far as the cut line is concerned. Two best times we've seen so far, and Justin Medeiros is through 10 and will move on to his second barbell.
See his family made the trip down from Acampo, California up north. Short drive for them.
Justin Medeiros is going to reverse the negative trend in a big way. Do not make this man angry. You will not like him when he is angry. And Justin Medeiros takes Heat 6 and sets an event record.
And that's the Justin Medeiros we're used to seeing. Head down, pushing through adversity.
Sam Quant looking to lock up second place, not only in this heat, but also in this test. 8:55.89 seconds for Justin Medeiros. Quant is through his first 10. Brent Fikowski is onto the barbell in third place in this heat right now as Pat Velner puts on his belt. Final 5 reps for Quant, left side of your screen. And Sam Quant is in, and he will take second place in the test and lock up 97 points. And now Fikowski looking to come across the finish line. If he hurries, he can get inside of that 10-10 mark. And he may have done it. It's going to be close.
And Velner over here creeping a little bit ahead of Nick Matthew now.
Well, Mertens is going to wind up in third place. That's big for Colton because Fikowski did not beat his time. Fikowski now fourth place in the test as Nick Matthew and Pat Velner are closing out their overhead squats.
And this is huge for Cole Sager. He came in at 10:32, so now these are other athletes that are going to fit in between him and Mitchell Stevenson, who's just finishing his first set of overhead squats.
So Velner and Matthew are now done. And Mitchell Stevenson, as you mentioned, Tommy, just put the barbell down and will move to his second set of 10. As Cole Griesaber looks to be the next man across. And Chandler Smith is on his final set of 10. Mitchell Stevenson just missed his first rep. Griesaber is across. Mitchell Stevenson in the background now having problems getting that barbell stabilized as Chandler Smith has just one rep remaining and he will get across the finish line. Stevenson missing another rep now. So Chandler Smith takes 14th in this test. Sager right now is in 5th.
We mentioned 21 points was the gap for Cole Sager coming in. He may make that up in just this test alone.
And Colton Mertens could find himself inside the top 9 as well. The final rep for Stevenson. And he's going to miss that one. So Mitchell Stevenson right now is in danger of falling out of that final qualifying spot. The good news for him, John Wood is still out there on the rower with Jack Rozema.
Between Rozema and Stevenson, that's two athletes inside the cut line right now that are looking like they may fall out heading into the finale.
Now Wood and Stevenson may be out, and Sager and Mertens may be in, but Mitchell Stevenson is running into a wall here.
And he keeps trying to snatch that weight. I mean, this is an opportunity to make an adjustment on the fly, clean it up, get it behind you, get it overhead. All that matters is that last rep. Doesn't matter how you do it.
Once again, trying to snatch. And Stevenson is hemorrhaging points right now. Sam Kwan just, was that chalk he chucked at him? I don't know. Try to help him out a little. And that's the final rep from Stevenson. He's across, and that, waiting on his final time. But we know it's going to be below 14th. Now Rosema and Wood are getting set to finish. Still don't have a time on Stevenson. Stevenson, 13:36.06 seconds. That's 20 seconds in the test. Cole Sager and Colton Mertens look to move inside the top 9 and maybe even up a little higher. So less than a minute to go before we hit the time cap. Jack Rosema's in. Rosema 8th place, so he's in danger of maybe falling outside of the top 9 as well.
Rosema was only 26 points clear of Cole Sager, so there was a few athletes that were within his sights, including John Wood.
"20 seconds left for John Wood, and now he's running into problems on his final couple reps.
And you got to applaud the effort from John, really fighting for that last rep.
And Wood is across inside that 15-minute time cap. And Justin Medeiros, who had been trending the wrong way, fixes that big time. 8:55.89 seconds, a test record, and 100 points.
And the first person to go sub-9, and from the outset, it looked like Justin was on a mission. No hesitation to go unbroken through the first set of handstand pirouettes. Started to separate at the strict wall-facing handstand push-ups, ripped through these rope climbs, and really, it was all gas, no brakes from the outset for Justin Medeiros. We saw him going in the wrong direction with each test, and really needed to bounce back, just maybe for moral, if anything else, you know, and seeing him come off the rower, no hesitation back to the barbell. The top time from Guy that was set earlier this weekend was in his sights, and a test record for the champ, even if he doesn't get the top spot overall at the end of the weekend, is something to write home with.
Justin Medeiros picks up his first win of the competition.